And just a shout out to the great Julie Grant, another fellow Temple owl, by the way, I should mention, over doing the yeoman's work at Court TV. And I'll just quote from the Human Events piece yesterday. Charlie Kirk did not have a choice or even any say over whether or not his murder would be live streamed. Only his assassin had a say in that. Charlie Kirk didn't get to have a say. His murder was on video, on live stream, in front of the entire world. His children will see that one day. They will. That's just the nature of things. But what we do have a say over is whether or not the trial will be open to the public. And we all believe that it should. And I'm just really grateful that Julie put that video together and has come out swinging on this one. Cliff Maloney, another good friend of Charlie Kirk, who also runs the PA Chase and the NJ Chase, joins us now. And Cliff, I'm sure I don't even need to ask you your sense on this. Cameras in the courtroom, yes or no?
100% yes. Open transparency, that's what we need. It's what the people want. Let everything be seen. With you 100%.
No, it's as simple as that. And this idea that they could shut it off, it's just ridiculous. No, people need answers. This is what we want. This is what we fight for. It's what America's all about. It's about having this done in public because, by the way, the public having access is a check on the court process, right? Because then you have the voters, the electors, the residents, the citizens. They have the ability to see what's going on. That's the entire point of America. Last I checked, last I saw.
Yeah, and don't we want people that are thinking about committing horrific acts in the future to have to see what he goes through? I love that they're saying that, people were judging his appearance. It's like, come on. We need people in the future to not realize that, I can do this and then just hide away. They need to be seen. Let us see their face. Let us see the reactions. I want to see what this monster is doing when hopefully he is strongly convicted. But I want to see it. And I think not just we deserve it as people who knew Charlie, the American public deserve it. And it will detract people in the future because they will see what this guy goes through, which should be a horrific process for what he did.
No, I think it will be, Cliff. No, I'd be remiss because we do have some work at hand, and that's what Charlie would want us to do. We want us focusing on the mission, and the mission and the task in front of us is New Jersey. This race where I'm looking at some of these polls, man. The new, I think it was the Quantus Insights poll that came out last night. Really interesting byline. If you went into the crosstabs, one of the questions they asked was that old question about not who are you voting for, but who's your neighbor going to vote for? And there was this really interesting phenomena that we also saw with a candidate named Donald J. Trump last year, where if you asked the question, who's your neighbor going to vote for, suddenly Trump's numbers would bump up. And they called that the shy Trump voter effect. Well, what we might also be seeing a shy Chitterelli effect because his numbers bumped up. Now he's leading by 6 points when they asked that question, who's your neighbor going to vote for? So what I'm thinking is, man, there could be a chance that our boy Chit up there in New Jersey, he might actually be able to have a groundswell of support that we're not yet tracking in a lot of these polling numbers. I know you've got new numbers on the mail-ins. Break us down.
Yeah, and look, once again, if you would have told me months ago that this race would be neck and neck, I would have said, look, we're not supposed to be able to win Jersey. We're not supposed to be able to flip a blue state after the White House turns red and we've got all of Congress, right? We're used to a pushback. That's not happening right now, right? We are in play. New Jersey is competitive, and it's because of all the work of so many people coming together. Here are the numbers that we just got hot off the presses about 25 minutes ago. Okay, if you look in Jersey, 184,000 registered Republicans have requested a mail-in ballot. The good news is a bunch of them have sent it back. The bad news, 76,000 New Jersey registered Republicans have a ballot sitting on their dining room table. Jack, this is the entire election, right? We at New Jersey Chase, njchase.com, we have 105 full-time ballot chasers. This is what they're doing. I want to be very specific. We are going to the houses of those 76,000 Republicans that went through the process to request a ballot, but they've yet to send it back. If we can bring that number down and make sure that tens of thousands of them send it back. Remember, Jack only lost by 80,000 votes in 2021. This is what we must prioritize. We've got to compete in early vote, and then we've got to dominate Election Day. But right now, the battle is getting that 76,000 number getting to those people and getting those ballots back in.
Look, this is what it comes down to. And Charlie was the one who understood this, that our elections have changed from a persuasion process to a collection process. It's about putting pieces of paper in boxes. That's what it's all about. And the Democrats changed this. We don't want to be doing this. Like those of us who have done politics and, Turning Point Action and the rest, we would much prefer to go back to the old method. But if this is going to be the new method, we've got to fight smart and win the same way we did last year. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's 100% correct. Look, you have two options. One, you can complain about the rules and guarantee a loss. Or you can say, hey, let's fight fire with fire. Let's try to compete against the Democrats using their own tactics. And that's exactly what we've done. As you know, this whole Chase thing is just me taking Biden's 2020 playbook in Pennsylvania, rerunning it in 2024, but for our side, and now just taking all the things that we learned from Pennsylvania, doing the PHAs, and using it in New Jersey. Here's my ask to everybody out there, Human Events Daily, everybody in Poso Nation. If you want to help us win New Jersey, there's two things you can do. One, come to New Jersey. We've got Super Chase events that Jack and I will be at both Sunday and Monday. Big events. If people want to come out and help us knock doors. But if you can't, njchase.com, go there right now, sponsor a ballot chaser. We only got 6 days left. I need to keep as many of these people on the ground. I want to really make sure that we don't have to pull out, that we can finish strong. That 76,000 number. If you chip in $175, that is a full day of ballot chasing. That is us talking to dozens of voters on that list that have a ballot right there. But those are the two options. Either come out to Jersey. If you can't, go to njchase.com, sponsor a ballot chaser. This is the fight, and Jack Ciattarelli has a real shot at winning.
I love it. Vote for Chit. I saw somebody calling him Chit, because it's Ciattarelli. Said we got to get up there and got to go vote for Chit. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm down with that. I could think of some other puns that maybe we got to be careful with, but no, that's great. And you're right. I will be there this Sunday, Tom's River, for the Turning Point Action, joining up with the NJ Chase, and we're going to be doing that event. It's 1 p.m. in Tom's River. Go to turningpointaction.com. You can get all the information on this first time that Turning Point Action has deployed to New Jersey. And it's really just because when you look at the race itself, when you look at the metrics, when you look at the momentum, and Chit has got the momentum. Jack Ciattarelli has the ability to win this race and tell the entire political ecosystem that, guess what? The Republicans just flipped a blue state when you said it was impossible. We'll see. Right back, Human Events Daily, special guest, and sticking with Cliff Maloney, going over to Pennsylvania next.
Hey, just want to say thank you for your service.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure you've heard that before, but we want you to know that we understand the freedoms and liberties in this country are because of people like you who served and gave everything for the cause of freedom. We don't take that lightly. So thank you for everything you've done and sacrificed for us.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
We're ready for our ticket.
It's been paid.
People thank me for my service all the time. But I want to thank you for being someone
worth fighting for. You make it all worth it. If you really want to thank me and other veterans like me, go to helpdav.org and support disabled American veterans. That is the best way to say thank you and keep our promise to our nation's heroes.
You can say thank you to our nation's heroes by going to helpdav.org right now, or call the number on your screen and give your monthly support of only $19. Your support lets our disabled veterans know you appreciate them and everything they have sacrificed for us. When you do, we'll send you this DAV blanket as a thank you and a reminder that you support those who served.
When you support DAV, You're showing veterans like me that you were worth fighting for.
Please call or go online to helpdav.org right now. Your support in this moment honors our veteran service.
When surprise breakdowns happen, American Home Shield will be there to fix or replace parts of the systems and appliances you rely on every day. They help protect your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping pay for covered repairs or replacements. AHS offers flexible and affordable plans for every home. Sign up today and get 50% off. Visit ahs.com or call 833-PLAN-AHS for this limited time offer.
Jack is a great guy. He's written a fantastic book. Everybody's talking about it. Go get it. And he's been my friend right from the beginning of this whole beautiful event. And we're going to turn it around and make our country great again. Amen.
All right, Jack Posobiec, we're back live here, Human Events Daily. We're on with Cliff Maloney of the NJ Chase, and of course you know him from the PA Chase. He's putting his PA Chase hat on right now, as well as his Philadelphia Eagles hat, who defeated the dreaded Giants last weekend and restored the honor of the city. But we're also excited to be joined by a very special guest. Her name is Maria Batista, and she is running for Superior Court in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our all. So you got a Pennsylvania-wide panel here today. I think we've got Monco, we've got Delco, and we've got Oil City. Are you Benango or is that Butler County?
Clarion County. I don't live in
Clarion
Oil
County.
City.
I was close. I was very close.
Yes. Oil City's close. It's about 20 miles away. That's in Venango County. I live in Clarion County.
Okay. So you're right. I've been to Oil City. Then all right. Though I've been to Clarion. So tell us about the race. Tell us what you're up to in Pennsylvania.
Well, I have been working hard. As of Monday, I've hit all 67 counties. Very excited about that. Many counties I've hit multiple times. What people want, no matter where they are, whether it's a rural county or it's a more suburban or urban county, is they want a fair shake when they come to court. And, some people do not have trust in our judicial system. They want transparency, and they want to know that politics is kept out of the courtroom. It doesn't matter where you come from. That was my map that you're showing right now from 2023. There were 2 seats in 2023, 4 candidates, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and I came in first place in 52 of 67 counties. And people said to me, Maria, if you won that many counties with 4 candidates, why isn't that you don't have a seat on the Superior Court? And I lost by 1.39%. That comes out to 77,995 votes. The race was too close to call. I won at the polls by almost 200,000 votes, but it was the mail-in ballots. 2 years ago, many people were still skeptical about the mail-in ballots, but we've seen great strides and great improvement in that number. And because of organizations like PA Chase, Early Vote Action, Turning Point, since 2023, our registration numbers have really improved dramatically with the new registrations and more people getting engaged with these judicial races. I have a lot of confidence that we're going to be successful on November 4th.
Well, that's incredible to hear. So, you mentioned the PA Chase, and we've got, of course, got the founder of the PA Chase right here, Cliff Maloney. Cliff, walk us through, sort of the sea change that she's talking about from 2023 to 2024 and now going into 25 when it comes to mail-in ballots, because this is very new for Pennsylvania. Early voting is not something that we've had sort of in our lifeblood, in our DNA, in our history right up until these recent years.
Yeah, well, let me start off by saying Maria is a fantastic candidate. She's working hard, all 67 counties. I mean, that's the type of person that we love to have at the top of the ticket, and she's just working so hard. We appreciate that. The good news is she's right when she says the problem in 2023 was mail-in ballots. Well, if you look at the numbers, I want to pull these real quick for you guys. At this time, if you look right now, when we're talking about the vote by mail discrepancy, Republican versus Democrat in Pennsylvania, the Democrats are up 270,000. Now you might say, well, that's horrible. Well, Maria's going to dominate election day, right? We're going to turn our voters out. What was it in 2023? Remember, right now, Democrats are up 270,000 when it comes to returns, Republican versus Democrat. In 2023, it was 430,000. So think about that. They're obviously going to keep climbing, which is what they do. But we only lost that race by 70,000 votes, right? Maria's working hard. We're fixing the vote by mail. And I really do think, people talk about the Supreme Court retention races. That's great. At every door we knock on, we've knocked on 440,000 doors since August 4th. We're on our way to 500,000. At every door that we knock on, we're talking about the retention races, but they're pretty much impossible to win. We're going to fight hard. But you know what's winnable? Maria Batista's race, both the Superior Court and the Commonwealth Court with Matt, another great candidate. These are big races where you have actual Republicans and actual Democrats on the ballot. And if we're returning at the rate that we are right now, Maria Batista will get elected to the Superior Court. It will be a huge win, and the PHS is honored to be a part of it.
Well, that's absolutely incredible, Maria. When you're out there, when you're meeting with people, when you're talking with Pennsylvanians, what are some of people really telling you as we go through the state, as we go through the Commonwealth there, in terms of what their main interests are, in this race?
They want politics out of the courtroom. They feel like,
Amen.
at the federal level, the judges are appointed, by the president. In Pennsylvania, we're very fortunate still that people can elect their judges. That's not the case like in New Jersey. You're talking a lot about New Jersey right now, the governor's race. So it's a privilege, and people don't understand how important that is. But anyone on the ground they just want fairness. They want honesty. They want integrity. And that hasn't changed. That message hasn't changed. The message that I hear more resoundingly than I did in 23 is keep politics out of the courtroom. We want independent people that are going to do what's right in every single case. That is what our judicial system is. It is a separate branch of government from our legislative branch and our executive branch. And, people ask me, well, why did you get into this race in the first place? I was not recruited to run. It's not something that I thought about just last year. This actually started 15 years ago. I was one of the few lawyers in the Commonwealth that I was teaching a course called Juvenile Justice, and that's when the Cash for Kids scandal broke in 2009. And so we designed a program. We aired it statewide on Pennsylvania Cable Network in 2010. And the courts, as protectors of children, over 5,000 children's lives were impacted based on the corruption of 2 judges in Luzerne County. Some committed suicide, and 2 justices and some Court of Common Pleas judges and some of the other high courts, including the Superior Court, were on my panel. And so Justice Sandra Schultz Newman, who was the first female elected to the Supreme Court, says, Maria, this is great what you're doing. You're trying to give a voice to the voiceless, but why aren't you running for judge? I never thought about it before that. It took me 13 years before I made that a firm decision that I was going to run. But it's very important. We can only impact our judicial system one judge at a time. And these are 10-year terms. This court has been coined as the People's Court, the Superior Court, because people are familiar with the Court of Common Pleas in each of the 67 counties in Pennsylvania, and that hears all of your criminal cases and civil cases. But when those criminal cases go up on appeal, they go to the Superior Court. And I ask people when I'm traveling, do you care about your families? Do you care about your children? Do you care about your property rights, business matters? If you've ever engaged in a contract, either personally or professionally, if you're injured, and I'm not talking about workers' comp because it's a little different, but say that you're injured in the hospital setting or in a car accident and so many other ways, all of those types of civil cases, if appealed from the Court of Common Pleas, which is right below, if you see this triangle, at the top of the triangle is our Pennsylvania Supreme Court. There are 7 justices. But the busiest court in Pennsylvania is the Superior Court. The one in red, there are 15 judges.
Well, we certainly know that after the last couple of years, we certainly know the importance of getting the right judges. Cliff, throw out if people want to get involved, what's the best way?
Sure. If folks want to sponsor a ballot chaser, pachase.com. But if you want to give directly to Maria, she has to hold back on what she says. So I'll say it, batistaforjudge.com, batistaforjudge.com, pachase.com. Maria, we're rooting for you. We'll be right there through the finish line. Jack, thanks so much for having us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you.
God bless. All right. I'll see both of you guys very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Right? Remember, J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk tonight, Ole Miss. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, you have my permission to lay ashore.